and a warm morning to my soul sisters and my soul brothers. Today's session is about the power of words to change the world. So I would just like to ask you, do you believe in the power of words? Do you? Yes. Do you believe in it? The words do have power to change the world. Earlier, like we were just chatting, and she said, what words to use, when to use, will definitely make a huge difference in someone's life. I, being a spiritual counselor, come across many cases in my daily practice. They have so many issues in life, so many issues. But when you go to the crux of the matter, you come out with nothing. Nothing in the sense they have low self-esteem, they have been demeaned in their life, they have gone through a lot, heartbreaks, disappointments, and quite a few negative things. And all this boils down to words. In their childhood, they were demeaned by their parents or teachers or students who are studying with them. As they grow up, they come across many more people demeaning them. Some parents use the words like, you're good for nothing, you can do nothing in your life. And this at a very tender age, when they are just 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years. Now tell me, how do you judge a small child, what he or she can do, or what he or she cannot do in life? But this has a great impact on the psyche of the child. And every time when he or she goes to do something, those words, those negative words, hammer his or her mind that, oh my God, I'm good for nothing. I cannot do anything because my father told me so. My mom told me so. As they grow up, only these things hammer and they become good for nothing. For a positive thing, I will like to give you a small example from my own home. My younger daughter is suffering from a kidney issue. She has MCNS, that is, minimal change nephrotic syndrome. Her nephrons are damaged and it's a lifelong condition. She is on a high medication and so many restrictions to follow her life. So she was in 10th standard last year, 10th grade. And in India, 10th and 12th are such, like every parent will put pressure, you have to perform, you have to, because their life depends upon the grades they get. My daughter underwent surgery, biopsy of kidney. While we were coming back home, her doctor had advised her to skip that year and take the exam the very next year because he thought she might be under pressure to perform. So as we reached home, she asked me one simple question, Mom, would you mind if I just barely make it to passing marks? I said, I'm fine even if you fail. And I think that was the point. She said, okay, let me give it a try. So you are ready with it? I said, yeah, I'm absolutely fine with it. And she got 84.9%. And I had tears in my eyes, the girl who was asking if I barely pass, and to the girl who I said, I'm okay even if you fail, she got 84.9%. I had tears, so she asked me, are you disappointed? I said, oh my God, I'm dancing. I'm so happy. So this is the power of words. We are conditioned in a negative way most often. Don't do this, don't do that, don't sit like this, don't cry like girls, right? So the don'ts have to be replaced with do's. We should talk about what you can do and not about what you cannot. Not everybody is good at everything. If I'm good in spirituality, you all may be good at something else. That doesn't make you any less than me in anything in life. So, if I want to say that I don't want to be late in my office, I should say that I want to be on time. The same thing in two different ways. So we have to change the negative thought cycle to a positive thought cycle. Because the universe conspires for you, and universe does not understand the language of nots, can'ts, don'ts, won'ts. Universe only drops that negative part down and it takes the other thing up, right? If I say I don't want to get late to my office, it will drop don't. I want to get late to my office. It will create all the circumstances so that I'm late. Maybe I'm late, my heel came out. Maybe there was so much of rush. Maybe my train conked off or something like that. So instead of using the negative words, don't, can't, won't, use I can do this. And this does not hold true only for the other person. This holds true for yourself also. Many times when we are not able to perform, we give a negative talk to ourselves. That, oh my God, I could not do it. I'm good for nothing. I'm dumb. I'm this and that. Sorry. There is nothing like that. If you couldn't perform, you have another opportunity. Life does not stop at one particular thing, one particular point. You have to evolve each day, every day, with positive thought cycle, positive process. When you talk to yourself each day, just when you wake up in the morning, look in the mirror and say, I love you, you are so beautiful, you are so handsome. Love yourself. That is the first step towards positivity. And this you are talking to yourself. So I would just talk this much. I would like to say that from today onwards, begin your life on a positive note. When you go to sleep, just pat your back. Very few people do that, but it gives you an opportunity to wake up in a positive mood. You have something to look, for the day. When you are happy, when you're positive, that you have that glow in your eyes, you have that smile on your face. And when you are positive, you have the power to change the world within you and around you. Because we carry the vibrations along us. So if you are positive, if you are happy, if you are satisfied with your life, you pass on those positive vibrations to the people who come in contact with you during the day. And this is how you will change your own life and the life of everybody. So this way you'll be able to change the world, yours and in the sphere of your influence.
Bravo.
Thank you so much.
Tall German sit When was the last time that someone said something to you that made you smile? 5 minutes ago. When was the last time someone said something to you that made you feel bad? I know you're all here because you understand the power of words. Words can make us feel joyful, loved, loving, and words can make us feel suffer ourselves inside. The words people say and the words we say to others can change, as we so beautifully heard, how we feel about ourselves, what happens to ourselves, what happens in our families, what happens in our communities, what happens in our businesses, in our environment, in our nation. Words can start wars. Words can stop wars. And a lot of you work in business, or have a business, or run your own business, right? How many of you run your own business? Quite a few. Great. Pretty much a lot of people here, right? So words also can really make a big difference in business. Well, I always like to say that I have 3 passions in life: entrepreneurship, speaking, and my husband. Of course, not in that order, right? Husband always comes first, of course. But when you think about business, sometimes just a few words can make a big difference. How many of you, for example, have heard of the TV show in the US, the Shark Tank? Have you heard of it? Yeah. What is it? Right. It's pretty much, if you like the show or not, but it's actually a way how people present in a very short period of time what they do, and then either they attract interest or not for their projects. Which again, these projects can change a lot of people's lives and these businesses, right? We have these kind of shows all over the world. We have them in Austria, where it's called 2 Minutes, 2 Million. Yeah, we have them in Germany called the Lion's Den. We have them everywhere. And in business, it's really a question: how can we? And it's not only in business, also in life. Sometimes just a very few words, in a few seconds or a few minutes, can change lives. And as I said, I have these 2 passions: entrepreneurship and speaking. So what you meet in the middle is pitching. I often work as a pitch mentor as well at investor pitching sessions. And I also give regularly a keynote, normally a longer one, which is called what do you say and how do you say it to really convince everyone almost every time of almost everything. Okay? Would you like to know the formula of how you convince almost everyone of everything almost every time? How does that sound? All of us would love that formula, right? And I don't mean it in a manipulative way. What I say is, when you know how to communicate, how to pitch in powerful ways, you don't only touch people's minds, you also touch people's hearts. And that is where we make heart-to-heart connections. And that is based on which we decide, do we want to work together? This is how we attract clients, investors, partners, and everyone else. And we become magnetic and attractive in this way too. So let me give you very quickly the pitch formula. You want to hear what the magic formula is? Great. So the thing is, a lot of people go out there and they start with saying their name and what they do in their business, right? The thing is, a lot of people can't remember names, right? When you walk out Monique Blockstill, it's gone, and I'm not offended. So what you want to do is, you want to trigger interest from the first moment on. And what do? You create something like a hook. A hook, again, in a positive sense, where you just bring people into the story that you want to tell, where you just get them to connect with you. I mean, you did it so beautifully. You asked us a question at the beginning. Who of you believes in the power of words? So again, we knew what you wanted to talk about, and you were there with you. What is another way of opening, your pitch, your speech? What is another powerful way of opening to bring people into what you're going to say from the beginning?
A joke.
A joke. A self-replicating joke, for example, often, if it's not against someone else, but you joke with yourself, that almost always works. Then you're on the safe side. Another opening could be tell a story. A very quick story. Bring people into your world by making them see your world in visual words. So that's also a powerful way of doing that. So for example, I could have told you the story that when I was a teenager, I loved to draw. When I was 10 years old, when I look back at pictures I drew when I was 8 or 10 years old, they were incredible. So accurate, like when I drew animals or nature, absolutely brilliant. I think, oh my God, that was me when I was that age. One day I was sitting in the kitchen and the school had tasked us to draw a self-portrait. And my dad was always critical with me. He walked in and he said, "This doesn't look like you." I felt so hurt that I ripped apart the picture and I stopped drawing. Since then I have been drawing. It changed my life in many ways, just a few words in that moment. So it could be a story that you could tell at the beginning to bring people in. And then second, you want to introduce yourself. A lot of people speak about their experience. It almost sounds like they want to apply for a job, right? How many years they've worked there, and so on. Well, rather tell them when you introduce yourself, why do you care? Why is this topic relevant to you? And then we connect with you on a heart-to-heart level again, on a deeper level. And then, of course, what do you next when you pitch, when you want to convince someone? All the people always say to me, well, next I tell them about the beautiful things I offer. Well, I say, yes, just not yet. First, what you want to do is trigger interest. Because what if you have something that people doesn't see a need for? How many of you work as consultants from time to time? Some? Oh yeah, oh wow, almost everyone. Great, which means that you sometimes come into an office, you meet a potential client, and you know exactly, the first 5 minutes you talk to them, you know exactly how you can improve their work, what good you could do to them. You have an hour conversation and they still don't see it, right? Have you been in that situation? You know exactly, I could change their life, I could change people's lives, I could change their world, their way of working together. And still they don't see it.
Who doesn't see it?
The client.
Okay.
So you know what difference you can make, but the client doesn't see it. They don't understand. And you're walking off, and there's never a next meeting. Have you been in that situation? You know, but a lot of people do. I mean, every consultant walks into a client's office. We are never closing 100% of the deals, right? And often when we don't close a deal, it is because the client doesn't see what we could do for them. So what you want to do first, before you talk to someone about what you do, is you want to make sure that they see the problem that they have. Okay? The key word here is first sell the problem and then the solution. Before you talk to them about the wonderful things that you can do, make sure they understand and feel, not only understand in their mind, but feel in their heart why they have a problem of not working with you. Yeah? Not in a manipulative way, but make them see how the world could look like if they would work with you. Okay? So, for example, if you are the world best dentist in the world, and you come to me and say, Monique, come and get your teeth checked, I'm the best dentist in the world, and let's assume you are, I'm probably still not going to come because I don't have tooth pain, right? But if you then make me see that if I don't get my teeth checked on a regular basis, I probably have a problem without even feeling it for a long time. And often enough, when I feel it, it's too late. And then you share some statistics and you say, look, you know, if people that get their teeth checked and take care of it on a regular basis, they live an average like 2-3 years longer. So if you make me see that, then I come and get an appointment with you. You understand?
Sure.
So that is what you want to do first. Before you even speak to anyone about what you do, ask a quick question or something and make them reflect if they need what you want to actually share. I've had so many conversations in the last couple of days with incredibly brilliant people. And they approach me, they just start talking right away about all the great things they do. But they don't even care if I have that need. They don't even anchor with me if I'm actually interested in what they're doing.
Yeah.
Have you been in these conversations over the last couple of days? Everyone is just telling everyone, this is what I do. Instead of just asking a quick question or telling a quick story or really making people see, what are you the solution for? What's the problem you're trying to solve? So I can find the problem inside myself. And then I listen to you. And then I start getting interest in what you do. Okay? So, and then next, of course, you want to talk about what you do. When people are at the edge of the chair, but never before, only when they're at the edge of the chair, and say, tell me, what do you do? Because you touch something inside. Then they listen to what you do. And then here, a couple of quick hints on how do you present what you do in the most powerful way. One thing is, you don't sell the what so much, you sell the why. Okay? The how as well, but more the why. There's so many consultants that say, hey man, we work together first, we have an analysis phase, we look at that, and that. And then we're gonna, do a lot of interviews with your staff, And then at the end, we have a couple of check-in meetings along the way, and then 6 months later, you can implement that product or reduce the cost or, increase the profits. The thing is, it all sounds like hard work. You're going to tell me that you're going to take my staff out all the time? And yes, I mentally understand that at the end of it, 6 months later, we're going to reduce costs or increase profits. But the way there sounds so horrible. So what you want to do is, make them see the end of it. So if you are a travel agency, what do you sell? Do you sell them like...
The destination.
You tell them the destination. You don't sell them like, you're going to be sitting for 10 hours in a really cramped place in an airplane and the food is probably shitty, and then you queue for taxi and you queue again to get into the hotel. No. What do? You make them see the picture of laying on the beach. So if you give, for example, speaking trainings, don't say, look, we're going to have these sessions and so many times, this is what we do in all these sessions. Just say to people, look, at the end of 3 months working together, you're going to step up on any stage or conference if you speak to 10 or 10,000 people. And you're going to know exactly what to say to touch people's hearts, and you're going to get standing ovations. You make them see where you're going to get them in the end, instead of telling them the what and the how. You also tell them the what and the how, but you keep focusing on the why. Why would they want to do their job? Why do they want to do the work? Why do they want to invest their time, effort, and money in working with you? It's where you're going to get them in the end. And make them see it. Make them feel it. Make them say, yes, everything it takes is worth it because this is where I'm going to get. So first sell the problem, then the solution, and then when you sell the solution, give them the why. Also the what and how, but the why is the most important. Make them see it and say it in their language, in a simple language. Okay? When you then have done that, and they already see themselves in this new world, they will then say, wow. And their question will be, how can we work together? So I don't know about you, but I see a lot of people here on stage that, yes, our what we do and where we are from is up here. But you would still not know, what do I do with you? Right? So you wouldn't know, okay, that, I'm often on stage, and even when phones ring, I'm not getting interrupted. I'm beeping it in. But what I do is, I'm not only a speaker. Yes, I'm a speaker, and I run a professional speaker platform. So if you want to step up and get more visible on stage, if you want to be paid for your speaking, if you also want to speak more internationally, then, just talk to me, and we can invite you into our community. Also, I run an entrepreneurship platform where we help people start businesses and also scale businesses. So people are not just selling their time anymore. A lot of speakers, coaches, consultants just are out there and they only make money when they're actually with their clients. We help people to build a business system so they can grow the business beyond themselves and leave a legacy. We get people from making 5 figures to 6 figures to 7 figures and beyond. So that is what we do. So that is what you want to do. You want to tell people what you do and how you work and what difference you make. And then you want to invite them. What I like, a lot of people talk about the call to action. I don't like that word, call to action. I always say I invite people to dance. So, for example, what I would say is, if you would love to speak up more and scale your business, come and talk to me afterwards. So this invite, you want to also share with people. When you convince them that, yes, they see that they have that problem, they feel that problem, and they feel like you have a solution that could be interesting to them, they do want to talk to you. So invite them to dance with you. When you still have speaking opportunities in the next couple of days, try it out. Tell your story, create a powerful hook, introduce yourself by telling people, why do you care about that topic? Make sure that you really share what is the problem to which you have a solution. Make them see that how they work with you, or when they support you, or when they partner with you, what difference you can make together, and what it means to them in their life, in their families, in their communities. And then make sure you invite them to dance. And you say, shall we meet in the next coffee break, or shall we set up a phone conversation for after the conference? So that you really take as many powerful connections as possible away. As you're playing with the power of words, make sure your words become seeds that you plant in a fertile ground. And the seeds that are meant to open will become beautiful flowers and trees. So I look forward to hear how you're going to change your conversations and how you're going to change your speeches over the next couple of days, so that you plant a lot of powerful seeds that become beautiful flowers or strong oak trees over time. And if you want me to talk about how to make that happen, if you want to scale your business or speak up further, come and talk to me. I really look forward to connect with you individually.
Are you the Impact Tribe at the moment?
Yes.
Oh, lovely. So I'm in the right place. It's good to see you.
May I invite someone to share their experiences? It will be so nice of you to come and share your experience, please.
You can also see if people have questions.
Yeah, that also, yeah. Questions also and whatever.
So I'd like to share a few things, if you don't mind. My name is Iris. My name is Iris Almeida Kotik. I lived for the first 21 years of my life in Mumbai. Studied at Bombay University, St. Xavier's. And for the last 35 years, I've been in Europe and North America. I'm reconnecting to set up businesses in India. I'm in the field of innovation and connections. So when I see Manisha and hers is Spiritual Connect, mine is Innova Connect. And so I'm interested in young people. I'm interested in diversity. I'm interested in scaling up. Now, I'm not a professional speaker, but I've spoken at about 200 global events in the last 20 years. I have a philosophy which is in between the two of you. And mine is words and deeds matter. And my approach is, I see too much noise. I hear too much noise. I hear words which don't mean nothing to me. And when I was a child growing up in India, at the age of 10, I did an exhibition called, I used for leadership, sport, art, and music to mobilize young people. So, okay, I was an athlete, whatever. But the most important thing is I use art and culture and literature and so we did an exhibition about Know India through posters. And so we were educating young people in schools and universities with that. And I see that the power of visual, of music, we do not take it too much. And so the people of my generation, 58 and above, they are only talk. And that talk doesn't mean nothing to the 27-year-old sons that I have. And so they said, Mom, practice what we preach. So what you practice is what we are looking at. We are not even listening to what you're saying. We are seeing you as a whole person, and your actions matter to us. If you are doing something with people in the community, that's inspiring us. So we get your inspiration only by who you are through your deeds. So I understand that, While in my generation, we had lots of words, And anyway, so I believe in the power of words. But, here in India, for example, the parents have a very dominating relationship with their children. And they are very decisional. Or you have to be a doctor. So whether the person is capable or not or whatever, there's pressure. And the same thing happens to most of the countries in Asia, for example. Korea is the worst case scenario. But what I'm trying to come back to is the power of listening. The power of listening is somewhere in between the words and the deeds. Because it helps balance in my book, And for example, when I meet a client, the client has checked me out through Google, through LinkedIn. They have seen my track record of the last 35 years. And they think I'm the appropriate person to perhaps guide them. I meet with them for 1 hour and I listen. And then I tell them, I will think about it, take it under consideration, and I will come back to you immediately. And then I send them a proposal. This is what I understood is your issue. This is what I can offer you. And this is my pricing. If you can't pay, too bad. And it works. So I just like to say that I really appreciated your comments. And I really think there is an interconnection between us. And I would really appreciate collaborating with you.
Thank you.
So now any questions for me or Monique, please? Monique, come. Any questions?
business. Nearly 30,000 over the last 25 years.
Yeah.
As you are all caring about words in this room, I would like to suggest to you that when you come across a micro small business or any small business that the owner is operating the business, is that you give them some encouragement to be able to put together their story in the third person. Small businesses find it very, very difficult to write a media release or to talk about themselves in the third person. So they need those skills of using the words because they're very hesitant to put themselves forward because they think that they're holding up the, they're making themselves out to be something they're not. So if you can give them a set of words that cuts the emotion but talks about their business, because that 30-second elevator speech, when they get up to introduce themselves, they struggle. They really struggle.
We teach that also. There's an elevator pitch formula that we can teach people very clearly.
Yeah, and the other thing that I find, especially women in business, to learn a sentence of words, a set of words, to be able to accept positive feedback and to accept a compliment.
Yeah.
They very much struggle to be able to come back
Exactly.
to accept that.
Exactly.
So if you can give them that string of words that they can use, that is because you're all passionate about words, they're the words that people need.
How many of all of us had to learn to accept compliments? It was not an easy process, right? I remember it was so tough. I was always pushing back. So powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
I would just like to add to this conversation that please work towards changing the conditioning of your mind. It plays a huge role. So if you have been taught anything, like if you're conditioned in a negative way, if you can turn it to a positive conditioning, it is going to help you and everybody in your family a lot. And I have seen this. Like how you were talking about India, what she said is really true. Parents pressurize children like anything. My intelligence depends upon my grades. Is it so? No, it's not. It's possible that I'm very intelligent, but I could not perform in one or more subjects in one exam. But that should be nothing to judge me, right?
Yeah, but they don't know how to communicate.
They don't know how to communicate because they have never been taught how to communicate. Their parents talk a lot and the children are supposed to listen. Is it the way to bring up your children? No, I don't think so. Change your own conditioning, you can change the conditioning of your children.
I just wanted, I read all the discussion. I'm the woman working with most marginalized women.
Yes.
And so I don't have any business idea how to make those people happy. But for me, what I realized, together with the verbal word, there is verbal and non-verbal word.
Exactly.
And attitude and behavior always come together.
Yes.
If our attitude and behavior is always positive, sometimes only the words people doesn't hear.
Yes.
Or my mom or my sister or my brother is speaking like this way, but their heart is open. They are supportive, they are cooperative.
Exactly.
They feel comfortable. But sometimes people always use so much positive, polite and policing words, but they don't care about in their difficulties.
Yes.
They don't raise their helping hand in their difficulties. They don't understand the reality of their everyday situation.
Exactly.
And then it's obviously
Very true.
So I'd like to say something to what she earlier said about taking in compliments. One very powerful way that I was taught when I was still struggling to taking compliments that we could teach others, where we feel that for them it's hard, is that when someone pays us a compliment, we are urged to say, oh, like someone is saying, oh, this is a beautiful dress, and we say, oh yeah, it's old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know that. So when someone is giving us a compliment, all we say is, when when all the thoughts rush in our mind that we want to say, turn them into one simple word, and that is
Thank you. Definitely.
just say thank you. And in terms of communication, I have a beautiful, beautiful mentor, and her name is Marsha Martin. She's one of the co-founders of Landmark, Werner Erhard. And she told me one thing that I would love to give to all of you as a gift, because it has changed my way of communication, my way of listening, and my way of interacting with others. What she is saying is that we should always remember there's space and there are things in space. Meaning that when we talk to someone, we always need to understand first that their mind and heart is full already. Especially at conferences like here, where we take in so many ideas and impulses and connections. So what we always first need to do is, we need to empty the space. And how do we empty the space? We let them speak first. And how do we make that? We ask them a question. Because I see it again and again, it's really crazy how people communicate with each other. Someone is saying, someone else is jumping in and changing the topic into an entirely different direction. Someone is asking a question, someone else answered, which is not a question to that, not an answer to that question at all. I invite you all to observe that over the next couple of days. And just really, I invite all of us to be more conscious, like with what you say, create space for children in every communication, in every session. Let's first create an empty space, because only if there's space, we can put something in together. And that is a concept, Marsha, thank you for sharing that with me, and with all of us. And I'm sharing it with you because it was a precious gift. And really understanding that changed my mind and my way of communication big time.
Wonderful. So, any other questions? You came late. Any questions?
Yeah, I was somewhere else and I rushed because I wanted to listen to this. More so when we saw what I experienced was when the power of words, especially when someone uses positive stroke to us, and just as you said, a reciprocation of thank you. It is easy when the gender is the same. It's easy when the relationship is set to an extent. But suddenly some stranger comes and tells, that thank you, the gratitude doesn't come voluntarily. It takes a time. So if we are practicing and we are not stereotyping but telling that let it come from anywhere, any side. But someone has really genuinely told, hey, your dress is nice, you're looking beautiful, or you have talked so nicely, or just something, or hi, good morning, reciprocate. So because the mind is so programmed to choose and give responses. But the moment you just empty the space you create for yourself and tell, let it come, I will reciprocate, then it becomes a very good way of.
Very good. This is what I was talking about, conditioning. Because in India, we never give a smile to strangers.
No.
Right? But I don't know, I'm hardwired for that. The moment my eyes will, if I'm looking into your eyes, I'll smile. Whether you smile or you don't, I don't care. And it's about conditioning. You have to change your conditioning. And the hard wiring will go, if you practice it, if you work very hard on that. So, I think we have to get into it and get into yourself. And you have to judge now what is good for you and what is not good for you, that has been fed into your mind. So we have to evolve, Like this is good for me and this is not. At the moment it's not serving me, so let it go. That way. Thank you.
Extraordinary.
Can I just add one more thing? I know on Wednesday the conference is over, but we will run a one-day event on Wednesday, so for whoever is still here, where we really help people to center with their mission and vision on a particular level, where we really work with them throughout the whole day on the power of words and on how they can really get more visible and how they can get onto more stages, how to really get heard and seen more, and how, what they can do to really bring their business and their purpose and their non-for-profit or whatever it is that they work on, what difference they want to make to an entirely different level. So there's 3 of us. We are spanning 3 continents. We have Mansi from India, we have Jaleh from the US, now living in Portugal, myself from Germany. We would love to spend the day with you. If you're still around and if that's interesting, come and talk to us. You want to work on your pitch? Come and talk to me. Okay. And also also just connect with us. And it would be great to have a group picture. Do you mind?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming here.